I want to give you as a client the best possible service and experience at your party. So I'm not going to sit here and if I'm not strong, let's say at country, I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, I could do it. And then show up and you guys don't have a good time because I'm not good at that genre. Or I don't know what I'm supposed to be playing. One of the things that I always think back when playing for crowds or for guests or for any of these clients is I try to play for everybody that's there, all the age groups.
Welcome to the Evermore Wedding Vendor Show, where we chat with local wedding vendors. I'm Josh from Evermore Films, the host of the Evermore Wedding Vendor Show, also the home of the Evermore Wedding Vendor Directory, where we have over 1,000 local wedding vendors listed in the Central California area. Let's get into today's show. Today we are talking with Manny from Manny Gee Events, and he's part of our Wedding Vendor Directory. He's a local DJ here. Manny Gee Events specializes in creating exceptional experiences with DJ lighting and photo booth services. Thanks for being on the show, Manny.
Hey, Josh, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, why don't you introduce yourself and tell our listeners and watchers on the YouTube version a little bit about what you do, who you are, and all that good stuff.
Definitely. So my name is Manny Garcia. Everybody knows me as DJ Manny Gee. I own and I operate a company here in Bakersfield, and we offer services for weddings, quinceañeras, and corporate events. And we offer DJ services, lighting decor, and photo booth. And also we have special effects such as like the dancing on the cloud, cold sparklers. We also have live entertainment that we bring out to the event, such as like dancers or with quinceañeras. We have a very popular, which is a 7-foot LED robot, and he comes out and dances. Yeah. So
okay. So when you say dancers, like, are we talking like tango dancers or what?
No, basically we have what we call, or what people have come to call, the fathead dancers, and it's basically people that come out in costumes. They wear this really big heads. That's why hence the name Fathead. Okay. And it's basically popular characters of mainly of Spanish singers like reggaeton. We have like Daddy Yankee. We have Bad Bunny, Pitbull, and right now a very popular Mexican artist by the name of Peso Pluma. So we have those characters that come out, and basically we do a show that we like to call the Turn Up Show. And the reason for it is because it turns up the crowd. They're, like I mentioned, they're very popular with quinceañeras. We also do them at some weddings. And we have we have 2 to 3 dancers that come out, and usually to turn up the crowd, to get the people interacted, to get them on the dance floor. Nice. They'll dance with the guests. And then we pass up some like LED little goodies to the guests as well to give that atmosphere, more of a party vibe. And then they also they stick around, they take pictures, videos, all of that good stuff with the guests after.
So it's like having celebrities show up at your wedding or events, you know, because I know it's not just a wedding. So get celebrities showing up, throwing down a dance party. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, the closest you could get to them without them actually having them there. And they've become really popular in the past few years. We were the first ones to introduce those characters here to Bakersfield, and I want to say to California. Nice. And then, there. So after that, you know, we started doing now the robots. The LED robots have become pretty popular as well. So we're doing those. We're always trying to stay ahead of the game, trying to bring different aspects of it, different entertainment for our clients, for our events, to make them more unique or to meet that vision that the client might have.
That's cool. It's always good to be trying to stay ahead of the curve and trying to innovate, which is great. I mean, we all love Bakersfield, but innovation is not always our strongest suit here. So it's nice to see innovation.
Yeah, and definitely we like to have new trends, new services. One of the things that we're known for mostly here in Bakersfield, or a lot of our past clients and fellow vendors know us for, is for our lighting decor. And with lighting decor, what I mean is we basically, if you're having your event, we bring out a lot of our lighting fixtures, and we transform the entire look and feel of the venue and also of the event. It just gives it a completely different vibe and an atmosphere. that the lighting brings. So we do up lighting, we do wash lighting, we do pin spot lighting, we do our custom monogram display. So, for example, that's one of the biggest focal points of the lighting, and we like to do it mainly around the entrance of the venue. So as soon as people come in, boom, the first thing they see is that big old monogram up there.
Nice.
It could be the name of the quinceañera, if it's a quinceañera, or the names of the couples. We also starting adding custom slideshows to those as well. So, for example, for a wedding, what we'd like to ask our couples if they got engagement photos done ahead of time. They send that to us, and then we display those. We create a slideshow, and we display that alongside with the monogram on the wall. So.
Yeah, that is cool. Well, I know we had just worked a wedding together like a week ago, and I noticed on the front of your DJ booth, you have the TV display there, and you were doing like a slideshow thing on the front of the TV booth, which is cool because it's like now in the background of the dances and whatever else, anytime we look and film towards the booth, it's like it's not just like a nice
A
clean,
table, yeah.
yeah, it's not a table or even just a nice clean, white or black booth or something. It's like, oh, that's like actually like a TV with pictures and stuff. So it's like, oh, that's it, like it becomes part of, the decor, so to speak. So it looks nice. I like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So that's one of
Yeah.
the other things that sets us apart from some of the other event companies here in Bakersfield is we also bring out BJ furniture is what it's known as, or what people know it as. But we're one of the few companies here in town that are able to provide that. So like you mentioned, we do have a 70-inch LED display where we put the monogram. We also do the slideshows. We could do presentations. We could do a lot of different things with that. And like you mentioned, it makes the room a little bit better. It gives you that different display, not just your average DJ booth or DJ table.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that we try to be different. We try to have a different outtake on the events, and also to give that extra pop for our clients, because especially when they don't really get to see, let alone their guests, those engagement photos. So it's a good place for them to showcase them. And we always get tons of compliments of those. We got people coming over and just taking pictures of the booth because they have the pictures of the couple or the quinceañera there. So it's always a nice little extra little touch that we try to add.
Yeah, I think that's super cool. I mean, it speaks to personalizing. You really go personalize. And I know we've done quite a bit of weddings, either with me or with some of the other videographers on my team. We've worked with you guys, many times. And that's something that I think we've always noticed. Like it looks good. We got the personalization, the lighting that you do. It's always nice. I mean, I know you and I have talked about how lighting could just transform a venue, and it really can. So it's fun when we see that.
It really does. And the other thing that we like you mentioned, working with you guys, videographers, photographers, what we like to do for you guys and for the couple is whenever we do any of the formalities, any of the special dances, we always come over ahead of time and talk to you guys and be like, hey, right now we have lighting, mood lighting or static lighting to match their color. But once we're going to start the formalities, we're going to switch them all to white to help you guys out and to not get any of those wash colors on the pictures. Because I know the last thing you want to have is like a blue face on your photo
Right.
or your video. So we try to do things like that, small little things, but that make a difference for the pictures. The other thing that you don't want to have in your wedding photos are like dots or lasers or any kind of crazy things like that going on those precious photos or videos for the couples or for the quinceañera. So we tend to just have pure white, try to help you guys out. Once formalities are done, then we go back to that mood or that static color.
Go back to party mode.
Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah. And, like we said, you've always been great to work with. So we appreciate that. Let's see. Okay. So we touched on a little bit of DJ. We touched on the dance parties. I know you also do photo booths. Are there any other services that you want to let people know about?
Yeah, so what we have right now are photo booth, and it's become a very popular service in the past few years as well. Right now, the 360s as well, the 360 photo booth. If some people that are not might be familiar with it, it's basically you stand on a platform, and then we have an arm, a mechanical arm that goes around in a 360 motion, capturing video, capturing pictures. So that's another pretty cool effect that people like. The pretty good service that they enjoy having at their event, besides
Yeah.
the regular standard photo booth that we use. And we're always trying to get new props. We're trying to match props for the event. For the corporate world, whenever they have some of the Christmas parties, we try to basically have match the backdrops, the props, the
Nice.
template, all of that to match that theme of the party. We have another client that does a summer party for their employees. So the same thing, we'll buy a custom backdrop for them. We'll do a custom template. We'll bring out the custom props just to give them that extra little oof for their event, and that's what sets us apart. That's the reason why we've been able to be one of the top companies here in town when it comes to DJing and event production. And like I mentioned before, it's what we try to do. We try to be unique. We try to be different and give that extra level of service to our clients.
That's great. Um, okay, funny question. What is one of your best horror stories?
One of the best horror stories. Uh, there's been many, but I think sometimes one that comes to mind will be when people have a little bit too much alcohol in them at some of these events, some of the weddings later on in the evening, and
Okay.
just people want to have a good time. People like to have a good time. So that's one of the reasons why we love doing weddings so much. Is that people seem to come with that party mentality. They want to have a good time. They want to relax. They want to spend time with family, but at the same time, they want to get let loose a little bit, enjoy themselves, and just have a pretty much a good time. And that's what we try to provide for them. So, we set those night smooth vibes at the beginning when we're having dinner, when we're having
Yeah.
cocktail hour, just kind of relax a little bit, background music. And then we do all of our formal dances. The reason why we're here to celebrate either the couple or the quinceañera. And then after that, boom, we hit them with that party music with those bangers, and people just go wild for it.
Yeah, for the video end, we don't usually stick around for much of that.
Yeah, you guys have missed out on some
Right?
good stories and video there at the end.
Yeah. Some of that's the parts that people don't want on video.
Exactly.
What would you say sets you apart? More, what's the biggest thing that sets you apart
I really
from other
think
people?
besides all of the equipment, all of the services that we provide, all of that other good stuff that we have, it's primarily my ability to be bilingual in English and Spanish, to be fluent
Yes.
in both languages. And I think that helps me out a lot and sets me apart from a lot of our other vendors here in town, that ability alone. And it's something that I always talk to my clients about, and I always ask them that, and I let them know that because they might have some family members that are not fluent in English and they only speak Spanish.
Right.
So when it comes to that, we do all the announcements, all of the introductions, everything that is done during the wedding for the formalities. We'll do it in both languages. So that way everybody knows what's going to happen. So they could get ready, so they could be aware, and so they could celebrate the couples or the quinceañeras. So I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I have, or that separates me from some of the other vendors in town. And the same thing, well, music, we're able to play music in both languages. I grew up listening to Spanish music, listening to
Okay.
English music.
So you're
So
familiar with both sides of that coin.
yes, that,
Yeah.
and it's a study for us as DJs. We got to keep studying music. We got to keep listening
Right.
to things. Got to, composing different playlists, knowing when to play the right music at the right time to set the right mood. So
Yeah, because I mean, we work with lots of different DJs, as videographers, and some of them know how to keep the floor packed, and some of them don't. Simply put, um, and And sometimes it's not even the DJ. Sometimes it's the crowd anyway, and there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes we see that we're like, man, we're working with the DJ,
Yes,
and we're like, we can tell this guy's like working as hard as he can. He's doing a fantastic job, and the crowd is just like not budging. And
exactly.
sometimes it's the crowd, uh,
Yep.
but
And
knowing what to do, knowing how to read the crowd, because sometimes we see those DJs who don't know how to read the crowd, and they're playing the wrong music, and like we can tell they're playing the wrong music. And the crowd is like, and then they start playing the right music eventually. And if someone comes up and is like, "Hey, play this," and then everyone gets up and dances or whatever. But yeah, that is always part of it. Well, that
most
is a
definitely.
yeah. That is a great spot for us to take a little break to hear from our sponsors. And when we come back, Manny's going to share some tips for couples looking for a DJ. If you're planning a wedding in Central California, you have to check out the Evermore Wedding Vendor Directory. We've built one of the most comprehensive directories for local wedding vendors in the Central California area. You can sort by county and by category, so you can find anything from hair and makeup to cake bakers to videographers, photographers. We have it all. Go check it out. It's free to use for brides, and if you're a vendor looking to get your name in front of couples who are engaged, go get yourself listed on the Evermore Wedding Vendor Directory. It's free to join. We look forward to seeing you there at evermorefilms.com. Click on the Evermore Wedding Vendor Directory tab on the top and check it out. Amplify your business with Story King Studios. We're not just another video production company. We are your strategic storytelling partners. We understand the challenges of connecting with clients, employees, and customers.
Go beyond creative visuals, crafting stories based on strategy. Our videos tell stories and drive results that move your audience to action.
From small local businesses to global players, we're experienced in producing tailored solutions. We collaborate with you to develop a video marketing strategy that resonates deeply with your audience and propels your brand forward.
Our comprehensive video production services span a wide range.
From brand storytelling to TV commercials, social media content, explainer videos, and more.
We excel in crafting customized content to fuel your business success.
Elevate your brand with effective videos that inform, inspire, and influence. Action! Story King Studios, your partner in strategic storytelling. Welcome back. Manny, do you have any tips for couples as they're looking for a DJ or a photo booth or lighting? Because you do all of that.
Yeah, definitely, Josh. So the biggest thing, and this is one of the primary questions that I always ask my clients when they called in, and it's kind of like a tip for anybody out there that's looking for a DJ is, what are you looking for and what is the vision for your event? And also, what kind of music are you guys into? Because you got to have that right fit between your style of music, your vision, and the DJ that you're hiring. There's got to be that nice mix.
That makes total sense because, if I like country music, I need to find someone who's good at country music. And if I like, something else, they got to be good at that because it's not the kind of thing where someone who doesn't know this genre can just pop up and be like, oh yeah, cool, I can totally. And you're like, what are you playing? So
exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things for me. I want to give you as a client the best possible service and experience at your party. So I'm not going to sit here and if I'm not strong, let's say at country, I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, I could do it. And then show up and you guys don't have a good time because I'm not good at that genre. Or I don't know what I'm supposed to be playing. One of the things that I always think back when playing for crowds or for guests or for any of these clients is I try to play for everybody that's there, all the age groups.
Yeah.
So some of the things that I think of is back in my own childhood, thinking of, okay, what did my parents like listening to when I was younger? So I could play music to that certain age group. And then what did I like listening to when I was younger? And now some of these couples are in their mid-20s or late 20s. So then I'm thinking, okay, what kind of music did they like listening to when they're in their party days or back in college? So that way we could basically have all of that for them. Besides talking to them, I always like to talk to the client for the first time. And then we set up another meeting after as we get closer to the event date to talk about music. Because at the end of the day, we could have all this cool lighting, smokes and mirrors and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing is entertainment and music for us, for DJs.
Yeah, it's the number one job. Play music people like.
Exactly. We want to make sure that everybody has a good time. Everybody enjoys themselves at the wedding. So my number one tip will be talk to the DJ, find out a little bit about them, tell them what you're looking for exactly, so they can see if they're a good match for you. Because I'd rather turn down a client that we're not a good match because I want to make sure that they have, or they find somebody that's a better match for their event than I am. So they have a better experience at their wedding or
That's awesome.
quinceañera or whatever event they have. And, I know a lot of really good DJs here in Bakersfield. There's a lot of them, a lot of really talented people. And, I'm not afraid to recommend people. And I would always tell clients, I'm going to recommend to you people that I would hire personally. So, like, for example, you, Josh, for Evermore, if I ever need a videographer, I will know who to reach out to. And that's the same type of
thank you.
vendors that I recommend to my clients or people that are looking for these type of vendors. So that's the number one thing. Talk to your DJ, see if you guys can basically match up, not just the personality, but also the music that they play, that they're familiar with, that they're strong with, to give you the best experience.
Yeah. And that it makes so much sense for couples because everyone's got a vibe, DJs have a vibe. Like you got to find the people who match with you. So that is cool. Now, another question I know couples are going to have is budget. How much should I budget for a DJ? Because I mean, like I've done this for a long time and prices have changed drastically. Since I got started to now. And it used to be that people were like, hey, I'm looking for a wedding video and my max budget's $1,500. And that used to be a lot of money in wedding videography. And now that's like, a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't have a package starting that low. So obviously I know things have changed in the DJ world too. So tell us a little bit about what should brides expect as they're planning for DJ pricing.
So, we have different packages that we have. We also customize the packages to meet the needs and the vision of the clients, but we have packages as low as in the 2,500. They could go up to 6,000. It really depends on what services they're looking for and what they want to add on. That's why we do have packages, but we also customize them and do a la carte services to be able to match that vision and to try to help them out. The other thing that we also do, knowing that it's a big investment for these weddings, for these couples, for these quinceañeras, is we have payment plans. So
nice.
So we let them, we have a very small deposit, and the deposit, what it does, it secures their date. It basically saves us and books them with us. So we have the deposit goes directly towards their total amount. And then the remaining balance, they're able to make it in payments to help them out. And that's one of the ways that makes it easier for them.
That's super cool. We do monthly installments for video. And I talk to so many vendors and most people are not doing, payment plans. They're just like, oh yeah, pay half now and half later, or maybe they'll do 3 or 4 payments, but like, that's it. I'm just like, why isn't everybody doing payment plans? It's great. I mean, as a business owner, it's fantastic for cash flow. Because I'd rather, have a bunch of couples paying me, $300 a month than have, going from just month to month looking for my next $2,000 deposit. Like it's way better for cash flow. And it's easier for the couple. It's like, it's a win-win.
It is.
Everybody. It's fantastic. So do you do monthly installments? How do you do it?
We do monthly and it also quarterly. It really depends on the client. We leave it up to them.
You have different options.
The only thing that we do require is that their balance is paid off at least a month before the event date.
Totally.
And, we're booked anywhere between a year to 8 months in advance. So that helps out the couple or the parents. Because like I mentioned, we do quinceañeras, we do weddings.
Right.
So, and these quinceañeras are getting crazy, as you've seen.
Right.
They're almost like mini weddings. And
I wouldn't even say mini anymore. I'm like, it's just a wedding without a groom. Like from a, I know it's a different event, but just from a perspective of what's happening and what goes into it. So yeah. Well, okay, that is cool. That's helpful for couples. So I mean that sounds to me like, okay, you run similar price ranges we do. I mean, like we start at $1,000. We have options down there, but most of our couples are, doing packages that are more like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. But yeah, kind of that like 1,000 to 6,000 range. And then we do monthly installments. So it's fantastic that couples can get a wedding video or DJ services for $200-300 a month.
Exactly.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. And, it helps them out. And I know that sometimes people automatically hear that, well, he might be charging more because it's a wedding. or quinceañera. But no, we
Right.
charge more because there's more work involved with it. A lot of people don't see it. A lot of people that haven't had these type of events don't know what goes on the back end.
There's a
So,
lot.
yeah, we don't just show up, for example, myself, I don't just show up for 5 hours and play and then I go home and that's it. No, we have weeks and weeks of prep work from creating a timeline. We help with creating timelines. So in case the couple doesn't have an event coordinator, then we kind of step in and fill that role during the reception if they're having a ceremony. So we got to help them with creating the timeline, creating sometimes we got to do special mixes for the couples, which is all included in our price and our
That's cool.
packages. Yeah. So all of that work. And then, when we do the slideshows, when we do the monograms, and then the day of the event, setting up, tearing down. So there's a lot of time that goes into this event. It's an event production. So that's why.
Well, and I appreciate you breaking that down for couples because, I think there's not everybody, obviously, but there's definitely people who kind of still think it's like, well, you're just showing up with some speakers and a laptop and playing music. Like, why is it $2,500? And it's like, no, we're there to create an experience for you. It's
Exactly.
completely, it's like the same thing for video. It's like, I'm not just showing up with a camera, and filming for a couple hours and then being like, here you
And
go.
that's it.
Like, no, there's so much more that goes into it, both before and for us after.
Exactly.
You don't have as much after work, which is great, but you have a lot before.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is great. What is, if you were to like take 1 minute and just kind of give couples or quinceañeras, whoever it is that's listening, a takeaway. What is it that you love so much about this industry, and why should people work with you?
The biggest thing is just being able to provide that experience for the clients. Music is so powerful that, songs and different genres, different artists mean so much to some people. I had a couple, I think it was last year or the year before, where their biggest thing was a particular rapper. And they wanted music of him played during dinner, during cocktail, some of their formalities. And the more I talked to them, the more I knew that this particular artist was very, very important and instrumental to them, to their entire relationship, to some of those struggles that they had in life. The music helped them get past these struggles, and it just reminded them of good times and bad times. So just playing some of those things for them and made them realize that they had such a great experience with music.
Nice.
That is one of the things that I love about this business and the services that we provide, and then of course, you have making people really happy with different types of music, having a good time at the event. They might be there with people that they haven't seen in years, with family members, friends, but they all get to come together and enjoy and have a good time because of music and the vibe and the atmosphere that we're able to produce and generate for them with DJing, with picking the right music.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned earlier, knowing what to play and when to play it.
Right.
And
when to play it. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't want to be playing bangers when people are having dinner.
Right.
And another little thing that sometimes people don't think about, and even other DJs, is we don't want to be blasting the music at high volume.
Yes.
Just because we can doesn't mean we have to. And a lot of people out there don't understand that, especially during dinner. People just want to kind of have background music, hang out. You haven't seen, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin in years. And the last thing you want to know is be having a scream match and screaming over loud music.
And that's something you hear guests complaining about all the time. Music's too loud, especially the older ones. But that's cool that you take all that into account.
Yeah, we try to take everything into consideration, try to put myself on their shoes. And like I said, I want to be able to give them the best experience possible. I want to be able to treat them like I would like to be treated and the level of service that I would like. And that's what I give to all of my clients, coming from, and this is the number one thing, we're a service company. So customer service experience is the number one thing for us. And that's what I think what's another thing that sets us apart is that we want to give the client the best experience possible.
Well, and I think you just said it, put yourself in their shoes. So I
Yes.
think that's your quote. Maybe that'll be the title of the show. Put
There you
yourself
go.
in their shoes. Yeah. Well, awesome. Manny, as we wrap up, if you want to just let people know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, definitely. So right now, our biggest place where we have a lot of content is on Instagram. So our Instagram handle is Manny Gee Events, and we have hundreds and hundreds of pictures, of videos, of reviews. We have actual reviews from past clients that we post
Nice.
up there. And so that will be the number one place for people to find us. Instagram, Manny Gee Events. We have all of our contact information there, our phone number, our email, our website. Right now, we're getting on TikTok too. As you know,
Hey, there
TikTok
you
is
go.
one of the big platforms. So DJ Manny G with 2 E's at the end, DJ Manny G on TikTok.
So that's Manny G as in Gee.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. And
Awesome.
yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you for being on the show, Manny. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Josh, for having me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, to work with you and your crew. Always amazing.
Yeah,
One of the
thank you.
top videography companies here in Bakersfield and Kern County. And like I mentioned, can't talk.
We do our best.
No, you guys do. You guys definitely do.
Well, thank you, man. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Well, thanks for being on the show, and we'll see you at the next wedding.
We'll see you in the next one.
If you like today's episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on Apple iTunes and YouTube, where we have the video version of the show. Be sure to leave us a comment or review. Let us know what you liked, what you learned. And until next time, I'm Josh from Evermore Films. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode of the Evermore Wedding Vendor Show.